The FIA just announced a major rule change that could affect the future of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. That's right, guys, welcome back to Racing Direct. I'm, of course, Kyle, and today we did get some news from the FIA, some very interesting news at that could affect the future of a potential world champion. So strap in, hit the subscribe button, leave your comments and likes. You already know what to do, guys. Let's jump into it. So yes, the major rule change, of course, is the Max Verstappen rule has been altered. This is the rule that was put into place after Verstappen made his debut at an incredibly young age, becoming the youngest driver ever to enter in the Formula One World Championship. And after that, they changed the rules that stated now you have to be at least 18 years old to compete in Formula One. Doesn't matter how many points you have on your super license, even if you have the required amount, if you're under 18, good luck, we'll see you in the future. But now it sounds like that is being altered. A change has been made that will allow 17-year-olds to race in Formula One. Now, not really sure if this is effective immediately or effective next year. If it is effective immediately, well, that will have massive, or could potentially have massive implications on the driver market, not just for next year, but for this season as well. Now, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, I did do a video on a rumor that was floating around that involved a potential mid-season driver swap at Williams. This, of course, involved Logan Sargeant stepping aside and making way for a young Mercedes Jr., Andrea Kimi Antonelli, to take his seat for the rest of the season. It was a pretty interesting prospect. I'm not still really sure how I feel about that. I do believe that Antonelli should finish up Formula 2, but that aside, opinions aside, there were rumors floating around that someone had made an inquiry to the FIA to have the Max Verstappen rule altered to allow drivers under 18 to compete in Formula 1. Now, obviously, this centered around the future of Andrea Kimi Antonelli, because I think at this point it's a given. We're probably going to see him on the grid next season at Williams, most likely, or maybe even Mercedes. We'll get to that in a second. It sounds like Mercedes are very keen on getting him into the car much sooner rather than later, and they really want to do it this year. Now, of course, the source was anonymous, which means we don't know who actually made the inquiry to the FIA to have the rule altered. But if they're doing that, I mean, look, Kimi Antonelli is turning 18 later this season. If they want to make that rule change, that means they want him in the Williams as soon as possible. I'm talking within like the next few weeks here. So yes, Logan Sargeant's days could be numbered if these rumors are actually true. And with this current rule change that the FIA just passed today, it sounds like things are actually in motion and they're trying to make this happen. Now, this is on the cusp of James Vowles, of course, announcing they are pursuing Carlos Sainz with everything they have. And even just today, he made another announcement saying they are on the brink of some major signings. So maybe they are closer to Carlos Sainz than people actually think. And these are not just rumors anymore. James Vowles might actually get this done. What's interesting about this is that many people, including myself, assumed that Antonelli was going to partner Albon at Williams in 2025 because we thought, look, it's going to be his rookie season. It would be incredibly strange for Mercedes to just throw him into the fire at the senior team in his first year. Of course, many years ago, there was a certain rookie who made a debut season in a top contending team. That, of course, was Lewis Hamilton with McLaren in 2007. We haven't really seen something similar done since then, so it's been a long time coming. If Antonelli does jump into Mercedes in his first full season, we'll call it in 2025, that would be groundbreaking because we already know that this guy's supposed to be the next Max Verstappen. He is Mercedes' golden child, but it sounds like they want him in the senior team as soon as possible. Now, yes, he needs some experience on the grid in a Formula One car. It would be kind of strange to just throw him into there right away. And now it looks like this rumor of him actually slotting into Williams for the remainder of this season could actually happen. Now, I initially stated I did not want to see Antonelli in Mercedes in 2025 because I was assuming that was going to be his first taste of Formula One action. I didn't want to throw him into the fire in the senior team that early. I didn't want to just rush his talents or anything like that. I want to give him some time to develop his skills. He's not really lighting the world ablaze in Formula 2 this season. He's put up some good results, but clearly he still needs some more development. But everybody knows the talent is there. It's going to come, and this guy is going to be a serious championship contender at some point in the future in Formula 1. Now, with that being said, and my opinions on him not going to Mercedes straight away, it really changes things if he gets into Williams this season, if he gets a lot of races under his belt, and this swap actually happens much sooner rather than later, well, that really changes everything. You can gauge where his talents and his skills are, and maybe he could actually compete for Mercedes in 2025. Look, the bombshell news that Carlos Sainz could be very, very close to signing with Williams has really shaken up the driver market because, again, most people assume that Antonelli was going to be in that team next season, but it sounds like there's a lot of plans going on behind the scenes that people don't know about. And now those rumors from a few weeks ago about this potential driver swap between Sargeant and Antonelli at Williams happening this season, Well, it's looking like that might actually come to fruition, which is pretty ridiculous. Now look, with all due respect and no offense to Logan Sargent, it would be very sad if he does lose his seat. We don't ever want to see guys getting bumped out mid-season. It's not ever fun. But, of course, Williams is a business at the end of the day. They need to produce the best results. And let's be honest here, Logan Sargent just isn't giving it to them. Another very bad weekend in Montreal. They gave him some chances for things to gel, for him to adapt, and gave him some chances to catch up to Alex Albon as well. It's pretty clear that's not going to happen though. If they want to make serious strides up the grid, they need to put their foot down and make some major changes. And it looks like they're not messing around. If they're very serious about signing Carlos Sainz for next year, but they still want to help Mercedes with Antonelli's development, then this does seem like honestly a pretty good option to do this driver swap sooner rather than later. Get some good results from Antonelli this season while they can, help themselves in that sort of lower midfield battle they're in right now, and then focus on the future with Carlos Sainz in 2025. And this allows Mercedes to be very comfortable for the foreseeable future if they've got their sort of budding young talent and their potential world champion in the making in their car in 2025. And they know he's being groomed at Williams this season and getting the experience under his belt that he needs. Because look, it's obvious now that Toto wants this guy in the car. He even made it very clear with some recent comments that they are fully on board the Andrea Kimi Antonelli train. They want to do everything they can to get him in the car as soon as possible. So like no one's even trying to hide this point. They don't want to disguise it. They want Antonelli in Mercedes and they want to do it fast. Now, of course, I want to know what you guys think about this new development from the FIA. Do you think it's a good decision to alter this rule to allow 17-year-olds to compete in Formula 1, breaking that classic Max Verstappen rule? Do you think it's a good move for Andrea Kimi Antonelli's future and Mercedes as well? Or do you think they should just let him finish the Formula 2 season and help his development? Personally, I was on that side from the beginning to allow him to finish the F2 season to help that development of his. But that was with the assumption that he's going to be Williams in 2025. But now that it looks like Sainz is going to go there, well, honestly, this driver swap just seems to make a lot of sense. And we could actually see a Mercedes in 2025. So give me your thoughts on the matter down below in the comments, guys. I love to hear from him as always. And be sure to share the videos, hit subscribe, and like. You already know what to do. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on Racing Direct.